Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Fantasy Football Universe. I am Aaron St. Denis. You can find me on Twitter at FFMadScientist. Joined today by SC Romero at the PPR Show. We are here for another 2024 Rookie Sneak Peek. Today's topic, Tennessee quarterback Joe Milton. This one was written up by SC. If you'd like to see his full write-up, head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com, where we've got Milton. I think we're about 85 prospects deep. I think 50 of them are offense, 25, 30 deep on IDP. I don't know too many sites who are 85 players deep, and we are going all the way down. I think we get to the 120s or 130s. So you're going to have some not day four, but you're going to have some round 4 and 5 players that are going to come up in your drafts that nobody else is going to talk about, and we're going to talk about all of them. This is probably one of them right here, Joe Milton. Was a 3-star prospect out of Olympia High School in Orlando, Florida, originally committed to Michigan in 2017. After 3 seasons with the Wolverines, he transferred to Tennessee. I'm not going to lie, I'm a Michigan fan, and I barely remember him playing at Michigan.
Yeah.
Barely. That should say a lot, but his first 2 seasons at Michigan were redshirt years. One of them was the COVID year, I think.
Yeah.
Milton only saw action in 6 games within those first 2 seasons, which explains a lot. Or 7 games if you include the bowl game in 2018 versus Florida. In year 3 at Michigan, he also played in 6 games. So he's got 13 games total in 3 years, which is why I don't remember him. The team was still bad. He barely played. His completion percentage was poor, below 60%, but he did manage to throw for over 1,000 yards. On the other hand, he threw 4 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Milton transferred to Tennessee in 2021 with hopes of a fresh start. However, Hendon Hooker was their starting quarterback. Unfortunately, Milton only threw for 375 yards through 8 games. His completion percentage was again poor and below 60%. That seems to be the common theme. Hendon Hooker continued to be the starting quarterback at Tennessee. This would become Milton's 5th collegiate season. There was some surprising upside that we saw again from Milton. Again, he only saw action in 8 games. He never really seems to play that much.
Yeah.
He did throw for 971 yards on 64.6 completion percentage. He did have 10 touchdowns and no interceptions, which is it's easily the biggest leap there. That's the most reassuring thing. Not the playing time or anything, but the goes from an even touchdown to interception to 10-0. So, his time was now. Hooker would leave for the NFL. All signs now point to Milton finally getting the full-time job, which he did. This could be considered his breakout season. Threw for 2,813 yards with a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. The upside he showed as a dual threat quarterback was there, and he also added in 299 rushing yards for an additional 7 touchdowns. What jumped off the paper here first for you with Joe Milton, SC?
We talked about a little bit in the green room there that his arm, he has a cannon arm. And I think with his size, because he's like 6'5", 230, 240, he's going to be compared to Anthony Richardson. And if he goes out there and runs a crazy 40, I mean, he's going to jump some boards because people will be like, oh, snap, we didn't really realize this about him. But if he doesn't, then he's going to be, your day 3 prospect here. And it's going to be hard to tell because his arm, his cannon is there. But at the same time, as that's his strength, it's also his weakness because sometimes he does overthrow the wide receivers by not having it right on the money. There were times where he got it right on the money and the receivers dropped the ball too. But it's kind of like a bittersweet. It's great that he has an arm, but that accuracy isn't there. And if he's overthrowing them, that's not a good look.
I think if you're one of those sociopaths who already had your rookie draft, don't do that. Why are you doing rookie drafts before the NFL draft and combine? But if you've already done it and you're a lunatic or you're in Devy and you have him, I think this week's combine is going to present you a unique sell high window. I think he's going to come in and he's going to be Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen, where he's throwing the ball 70, 80 yards downfield and just, a lot of the big name quarterbacks aren't going to play or do anything on field this week at all. Like a lot of the big name players are just out. So I think him and JJ McCarthy are going to light it up this weekend and you're going to see them both rise. I like JJ a lot better. I think Joe Milton, like I said, he's going to come out and he's going to he's going to be throwing rockets all over the field. You're going to see him become the buzz guy all of a sudden where he's going undrafted or in the 5th round of rookie drafts.
Right.
Suddenly you're going to see him in that range just after who is it? We got Bo Nix, Michael Penix.
Yeah.
That's the range. I think you're going to see him shoot up a round or two in drafts. If you've already drafted him, it might be a time to sell him because I don't know if his value is ever going to get any higher. There is the upside that he could, do the Josh Allen thing where someday he's able to channel all that arm strength and actually learn accuracy. But I know everyone said, well, Josh Allen learned to be accurate, but for every one Josh Allen who learned how to channel it, there's 9 who fail to channel it and are out of the league. And that's like Josh Allen's channeled it in the 1 year, but since we've seen it's kind of hit and miss, he still has those meltdowns where it's fuck it, I'm just going to heave the ball downfield and it doesn't really work out. So
I'm pretty sure in the past couple seasons he leads the league in interceptions. So
yes. Yep. So he hasn't necessarily worked out the inaccuracy issues all that much, but
yeah.
The size here is massive. 6'5", 87th percentile, 235, 88th percentile. He's one of these players where it's amazing how you can be in college and nobody knows what age you are. I think he's 22 or 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
24. I didn't get the exact one on there, but yeah, he's going to be 24, I do believe, entering the draft.
It's amazing how nobody knows. You're in college. It's wonderful. But as you see, 3 years at Michigan, 3 years at Tennessee. He's been in college a while. COVID, but it happens. All right, let's
and that's where. Sorry about that. And that's where it's gonna hurt him. Is having the long time there when he's at college at that age. People are gonna sleep on that because they're like, okay, is this what we're getting? Like, is there still time for him to grow? Is a coach gonna be able to coach him up, or is this exactly what we're getting? What we saw that final year at Tennessee.
Well, the scary part is here, by my quick math, he played in 43 games in 6 years. That's not good. That's not great. So, all right, let's move on to the scouting report. We'll get into his strengths. Rapid release at any point, whether on the run or in the pocket, he gets the ball out quickly. Smooth pocket awareness. He understands when he needs to escape some pressure. Quick feet to gain yardage on the run or escape the pocket while throwing accurately on the run. He has a cannon for an arm, which is easily the best strength, probably the strongest arm in the class. That might be an understatement. I don't know if it's even close. Prototypical size. Some will confuse him for Anthony Richardson due to his frame. Richardson is faster and more accurate. So, I noticed his strengths to me were exactly what Anthony Richardson did. The problem is, I think he's Anthony Richardson light. But having said that, we came into the combine last year. We said the same thing about Anthony Richardson. We said he's big and fast and athletic and he's got a cannon arm, but we don't know if he can throw. Okay, so I have two thoughts on this. Anthony Richardson is faster and bigger and faster. I don't think there's any way that Milton here is going to end up being anywhere near as fast as Richardson. The arm, on the other hand, I think could be in the same vein because we said this last year. We knew Richardson was really big and really fast. We just didn't know. Nobody expected him to be as good a thrower as he was.
Yeah.
Could be the same level thrower as Richardson. He's not going to be anywhere near as fast as Richardson. So what really stood out to you as the main strength here?
Agreed. I mean, through the years of watching him play, the pocket awareness, knowing when to escape the pressure was always good. That's something you like to see. Being a older quarterback, he does have that knowledge and that IQ. I just think he was never really given the opportunity, and unfortunately that goes both ways. He wasn't able to be at the competition, but then also he just wasn't necessarily given there when he did go. I mean, he flourished. He did pretty good. His final year there, throwing over 2,000 yards and 4-to-1 TD ratio, TD interception ratio. So it's there. And if he gets a shot, he could shine there. But I think, it's going to be hard, especially if he's a day 3 capital. That's someone you kind of just wash and just, kind of a backup. But he's someone that, if you get him and he ends up starting a week or two, it may be a strong week to start because he's just going to throw it up.
For me, like I said, the arm is there. The main difference is Anthony Richardson ran a 4.43.
Yeah.
This guy's projected to run a 4.73.
Yeah.
Not even close to the same. Like I said, the arm strength is going to be there. I think arm for arm, he might be able to match Richardson. Right. They both might struggle with accuracy. It's going to be the speed overall. He's not anywhere near the rusher.
Right. Agreed.
This Anthony Richardson is like taking Joe Milton's arm with Jaden Daniels' rushing floor and combining them.
Yeah.
That's what this is. So I don't think this, like I said, this is dollar store Anthony Richardson right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Weaknesses, his cannon arm gets him into trouble. Although he is accurate, he can overthrow and under anticipate his receivers, causing incompletions. Age 24-year-old prospect entering the NFL, not great. Needs to fine-tune his fundamentals, going through his reads, reading the coverage post-snap, and some basic IQ for the game. So this is going to be another one where the S2 score that doesn't matter anymore is going to be an issue. But so what was the biggest weakness for him?
Probably going to be his inability to understand the game a little bit here and there. Like you would think with 6 years in college, you would think 6 years in college he would get it a little better, but his IQ isn't the best there.
No, that's not good when you're 6 years in and still can't read a defense. Yeah. Especially all that time on the bench, with the clipboard, you think you'd learn something. But I think that's the problem too. He's been in college for 6 years, but he's averaging like six games a season. So it's not great.
Exactly.
You have him going round 6, so back half of day 3, Dallas Cowboys. I don't hate that. That could be a spot where I think he needs to go to a spot where he's going to sit behind a veteran and maybe learn, maybe pick up something here from Dak Prescott. If he could go and be the backup in Buffalo, I think that would be great. Learn or backup in Indy. I don't think he'll ever get a shot behind Allen or Richardson because they're both young, but he could go in, spend a year, learn what they did because they're the closest, I think, to him as a prototype, learn, correct his deficiencies from them, and then, get traded somewhere else or request his release and go somewhere where he might get a shot. But yeah, Dallas, I don't mind that. I like Dak. Dak's also someone where he's kind of that kind of passer. So, but what do you have to say here? What do you think about round 6 to the Cowboys?
I mean, I just said that a lot of people are going to hate that because they're like, oh, Trey Lance is there. There's no way they're doing it. Man, they didn't give up anything for Trey Lance. So, I mean, that could be a wash there. Just really learning from Dak because I feel Dak kind of went through some adversity of, he's not a good quarterback and stuff like that. But then he is. You look at the tape, you look at what he's done. He's actually a pretty good quarterback. And like most quarterbacks, he had a bad season. So having him there to just get that IQ and just be a good fielder when they need it. I don't think he's a long-term solution or someone that's going to start for the Cowboys. But again, someone that could be in there. I may say he's better than Trey Lance, man. I'm not a Trey Lance truther at all. So Trey Lance, the competition was there. It wasn't there, and people thought he was the greatest quarterback entering that draft. And I was saying, nah, that's not him. So I think Joe Milton can go there and just learn, and it just fits right for me seeing him in a Cowboy uniform. I think that looks like Joe Milton.
I think Zach Wilson's better than Trey Lance. So Trey Lance being on the Cowboys roster never factored into this to me whatsoever. I didn't even consider it. So I'm good with you going to the Cowboys. I think you're right. Late day 3 pick here for me. Could be, like I said, it could be a riser. It could be early day 3 because he's going to go and he's going to throw the ball. And it's like the receivers and running backs who come out, the Jalen Hyatt. He'll come out and run a 4.3 and nobody cares. Just overdraft him because he's fast. He'll come out and throw a cannon arm performance here. Nobody cares. He can't do anything else. Well, he can throw the ball 70 yards. So let's take a shot at him because
put him in on a Hail Mary pass.
Yeah, exactly. Just put him in for the old Hail Mary. So all right. Well, that concludes the 2024 rookie sneak peek of Tennessee quarterback Joe Milton. For the full write-up of Milton or any of the other prospects in this year's draft, head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com. Check back tomorrow for the next player in our series. For Aaron and SC, thank you for tuning in to the Fantasy Football Universe. Take care, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow.